that it's almost, is what I really should say, to hold Casemiro. That even was Andre Santos. They're the holders. That front four, go do all the damage that you can do. Find spaces, find gaps. I'm sure for Enrique, Cunha, Pedro and Vinicius, it'll be a very similar story this evening. Both teams are out on the field. As I say, Orlando is the venue and the city hosting this evening. Camping World Stadium. Of course, both teams were in action in the USA a couple of nights ago, and it's almost not a tournament, a 4-team winner, isn't it? So, for example, Brazil lost to France, Croatia beat Colombia. Well, France beat Colombia, only lost a couple of nights ago. It's almost who wins this. We'll see who comes out on top. If Croatia win, you'd have to say they'll be eyeing up France, possibly. That could be a rematch of the 2018 final. And what a mouth-watering opportunity that would be. Of course, you do look at this Croatia side. So much experience, especially with Luka Modric. Only a few hours ago, another experienced player, Edin Dzeko, getting his side, Bosnia, into the World Cup. Modric will be there. Could it be a swan song in the US of A? Or will Modric continue to completely defy every single metric of his age? Of course, do look a little bit of backstory of all these sides. Croatia, since gaining independence in 1991, they first qualified for France at 98, and they did finish third place. Finished third place as well as recently as Qatar, and their best place was, of course, runners-up in a 4-2 loss to France in Russia 2018. But since France in 1998, they've qualified for every single World Cup, so the consistency is incredible and too good to ignore. From Croatia, their manager, the 59-year-old Zlatko Dalic, has been in charge since October 2017. The former Al Hilal boss, 103 games so far, 58 wins, 20 draws and 25 losses. Whereas for Brazil, a much more experienced coach in Carlo Ancelotti, but in terms of the international game, this is his first gig in international football. He's only been in charge for less than a year. This will be his 10th game in charge for Ancelotti, the 66-year-old Italian. Of course, the list I could go on and on and on about the Italians' plaudits and trophies in club football with the likes of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, AC Milan, of course that short stint at Everton as well. But since May 2025, 9 games, 4 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses as the Brazilian boss. So it'll be interesting to see again going into the World Cup. I can imagine he's still trying to figure out his best side, how his side wants to play. 5th ranked side are Brazil when it comes to the FIFA World Rankings. Of course, 5-time winners. Latest was 24 years ago in South Korea. But of course, they do have a bit of history in the USA. They won the 94 tournament, of course, when it was last held in North America. The 9 times Copa America winners will be looking to make it 6-time World Cup winners this summer. And you can imagine the pressure is on, and when the pressure's on, I can assume you don't want too many people in charge. Comes to Carlo Ancelotti, my word, is he a real good option to pick? Some calm on the touchlines. Can imagine as well these players will really want to back him up. We are almost ready for kick-off. If anything, we're probably a minute or 2 behind. I do have to say, apologise about that. Nothing I can personally do about it. The players are very much taking their time in terms of getting ready for this game, in terms of getting underway. The match officials, of course, this evening, Armando Villarreal is the referee, with Ryan Graves and Kelly Smith as the linesman, assistant referees. So we will be underway shortly, as soon as possible that we can. There will be English audio commentary of Croatia against Brazil. The final stop, if you will, on this international break in what's less than 3 months, maybe 11, 10 weeks or so. Oh, the World Cup will be in full swing. And look, I'm sure that both these sides have a lot of hope in terms of they want to get there. They want to be part of that final game at MetLife. It's also as well these are friendlies, but as I said, the France game specifically, I can only speak of that. I didn't watch the Croatia game. It does seem that it was a lot feistier than I thought it would be, for example, so perhaps both these sides do have a feeling that bragging rights for both take some confidence going into the World Cup in a few weeks' time, and we are almost ready to get underway. It's English audio commentary, Croatia against Brazil, and we are underway. In the first half, Croatia will be going from right to left in a away kit, used to the white and red. This evening they're right to left in blue, whereas Brazil, well, they were in blue a couple of nights ago against France. They're back to the usual yellow, blue and white, making it a bit easier for myself, it has to be said. Let us say left to right. On the ball on the left-hand side, Douglas Santos. Gosh, a lot of these players have been given a lot of chances this evening, it has to be said, to create themselves a bit of opportunity, show themselves of why they should be in the squad. There's a lot of talk about, for example, Neymar should be in the squad and this and that. The right-hand side, Cunha. As I say, that front four, it's Pedro and Cunha as the two central players, but it does have to be said that it'll be very fluid. Well, this front four, Marquinhos has it on the edge of the area. Back to Ibanez. Can imagine as well, Ibanez playing his football in Saudi Arabia these days. He's a right back, but interesting to see how he gets on playing in that position. More of a natural central defender is the Brazilian. So Marquinhos at the moment just trying to slowly but surely make their way for his Croatian side. Croatia usually a bit lower tempo they do play, so I can imagine Brazil might have a good amount of possession in this game. Croatia looking to, I wouldn't say, get the foot on the ball. They will play some good stuff, they've got some great players, but for Brazil, players from maybe Samba, Joga Berico style play. Douglas Santos has it on the left. About halfway into the Croatian half. Casemiro, he was very impressive a few nights ago against France. To the goalkeeper in Bento. On the right hand side, well, I spoke about Ibanez. He's flying down the right hand side, plays it to Luis Enrique, cuts inside with his favourite boot. Good tackle from Perisic, and then Enrique brings his man down. And the camera's trying to pick up pictures of Carlo Ancelotti, and the camera's getting in the way of what he can see on the pitch, and he almost threw the cameraman outside. It was quite funny to see. Apologies about that. Croatia now on the ball with Kaletakar. Was playing with that back foot. We'll have to see how that does even itself out. Could be a positive, could be a negative with Modric and Fucic trying to drop deep. Of course, Modric still thriving in Serie A now. To the goalkeeper, he tries to spray it out to Perisic on the left hand side. Again, it was stalwart. He's Perisic. Maybe took shot out for a throw on the right side. Very, very tight, it has to be said, the dugouts to the pitch. I know that Camping World Stadium isn't a soccer, football, however you like to look at it, kind of ground, but at the same time, my word, it's very tight. Even the throw-ins of players are very close to the dugouts and to the stands. Thankfully, There's looking at it from a broadcast angle, of course. Get a very nice high picture of it, because if not, I can imagine the coaches on the sideline, they've got no space at all. Might be very awkward to you, right next to the pitch. You say about staying in your technical area, the technical area is you stand a foot out of it, and at the moment, technically, Zlatko Dalic is out of his technical area. Back in play though now. Teletekar. To play it long, looking for the run of Budimir. Heavy touch off Marquinhos, just has to deal with it, and it's very confidently dealt with by the PSG defender. Skipper this evening, usual skipper for Brazil. In his absence, if you like, so Casemiro took the armband. And as I said, this is what Croatia want. They almost want to lull you sometimes into a bit of a sleep. That's a lovely ball over the top. But Torino, ball into the box. A bit too much on it from the Como attacker. It's on the right hand side though, kept well in by Stanisic. Santos battling for the ball. And we've gone up for a throw-in possibly as well. Joseph Cunha, the Manchester United man, coming into this international break a little bit of form, of course. The Red Devils have had a turn of foot since Carrick took charge, but Cunha's been one of the bright sparks for them since the turn of the year in turn of management. Ball played down the right hand side. Look at João Pedro. He's taken down and wins a free kick for his side. A little bit of Vuskovic, the young defender, really highly touted. Looking forward to watching a bit of him this evening. Quite clearly at the moment, very much man-to-man in terms of the marking this evening so far, because Vuskovic was following João Pedro all the way as far as he could down the byline at that moment in time. Douglas Santos on the left-hand side for Brazil. Inside his own half, he's forced to go back. Leo Pereira. He's been given an opportunity, of course, and how can he take that opportunity is the bigger question. He tries to play a raking pass to the right side to Enrique. He's clipped as well there. So he's holding the back of his right calf. Looks like it's a real sore one, it has to be said. Now Croatia, that long ball from the free kick, nothing comes from it. Brazil get the ball back. They lose it instantly. Great tackle in the middle from Sujic. The back with Satalo. Turns right, turns left. Plays it forward. Good first touch there from Budimir. Kramaric. And one of those experienced players is the former Leicester man. Feels like a lifetime ago since he was playing for the Foxes. Back to Satalo. So many technical technicians in this Croatian side. Flying down the right here is Stanisic. Lovely play opening up Brazil here. Stab forward looking for Batarina. Too much on it into the welcoming arms there of Bento. Well defended by Luis Enrique to get back as well. As I say at the moment, you can clearly see this man-to-man marking for Brazil is causing them a lot of problems. Croatia really heavy in terms of that man-to-man. Brazil, they're more of the old school, just defend your area. I was committed to the man-to-man approach. So a different kind of philosophies this evening, has to be said. It's a nice ball though from Casemiro out to Ibanez on the right-hand side. 1-2 with Enrique and back to Marquinhos. Leo Pereira faces it into the feet of Vinicius Junior. Just over 9 minutes played here. Brazil 0, Croatia 0. left-hand side. Still with Vinicius Junior, overlapping run there, trying to find some space. Well defended. Might have gone out though for a goal kick. Doubling up there, Satalo and Stanisic. It was last, I do believe, off of Vinicius Junior. Cunha played a ball down the byline, just on the same wavelength there. Yes, it does go out of play. The Real Madrid stand can't get back on the ball. Get done with this back three, back five, however you do that. So look at it for Croatia. Players such as Vinicius Junior and Luis Enrique, they're almost being doubled up upon at every single opportunity. From a point of view of trying to slow down the opposition players, I don't blame them one bit for trying to do so. On the middle, Perisic left-hand side, driving forward. Nice ball, plays it to Baturina on the left-hand side. Further wide to Perisic, ball back into the box. Players lining up at the back sticks, but well nodded away there by Santos. And he might have even won inside a free kick as well inside his own penalty area. That was a good play though down the left-hand side. Perisic is a goal threat, he's a creative threat as well. Found his way as a wing-back in the last few years, a lot of stages of career, and he's been absolutely excellent in those positions. But it was a free kick, and Brazil almost teasing. Bento has it at his feet, he's got his studs on the ball, and he's almost staring at a couple of the Croatian players going, well, are you going to press me? Well, what's going to happen at the moment? We're just letting time tick away. Kramaric does press, and he does go long. There's a Brazilian goalkeeper looking for Vinicius Junior, but Satalo wins it. Tries to bring it forward. That's a great tackle in the middle though from Casemiro. To Danilo Oliveira. You can imagine Ancelotti has been very vocal about, I've got a certain amount of players I know that are going to be in my squad. And how many of these start? You would look at perhaps a Casemiro, Marquinhos, Vinicius Junior, out-and-out starters in the squad. Perhaps a João Pedro, Mateus Cunha still trying to earn their stripes in terms of the 11. I imagine they'll be on the plane for sure. But they are in the starting level is a different story. 12 minutes gone, goalless. Brazil 0, Croatia 0 in this final international friendly before the World Cup will get underway. Of course, there will be a few handful. For example, England have 2 friendlies before the World Cup does start, but in terms of the international break, it's the last international football to be played before said, well, the squads will meet up for the World Cup. Haven't had full confirmation this evening, but I do know that in the games that have been played in the USA, there has been drinks and cooling breaks halfway through each half. Almost makes it quite American, doesn't it? It becomes not 2 halves of football, but 4 quarters of football. Neo Pereira, Douglas Santos, he's more attacking as well on this left-hand side. That might be something that Ancelotti wants to try out. Lovely first touch into Cunha, back to Santos. Here come Brazil down the left-hand flank. A few 1-2 touches, great tackle from Sucic. Croatia can't get it out of their own half though. Enrique takes it off the toes of Perisic. Get out for a throw-in. Enrique can always see the energy that he's bringing on the right-hand side, winning that throw-in there. Also Perisic a little bit, frustrated, disappointed. I'm not too sure. He thought that was a throw-in for his side, instead being given the way of Brazil. Let's get on the ball at the back with Leo Pereira and Marquinhos. You look at touch maps and touches and passes, you'd probably say those two might be at top of the pile come this full-time whistle this evening. Ibanez. The skipper. It's a decent high press on from Croatia, it has to be said. Not too intense, but it's almost, as we see, mid-blocks and low blocks, almost a high block. Look at this man-to-man. They're quite high, but once it gets to the 2 centre-backs and the goalkeeper, they're just sitting quite high up the pitch, and almost, again, daring Brazil to come forward, to go through their press. Here they do come though. Vinicius Jr. has an opportunity, strike outside the area. It's blocked away well by the duo of Vuskovic and Kaleta. There will be a stoppage here. Looks like Vuskovic is in a right thigh. So João Pedro, in winning the ball, João Pedro does slip. There's nothing malicious about it, but he does catch the young defender on the inner right ankle, inner right calf as well, so that might be a little bit of a sore one. Imagine as well all the managers that their players are playing in this game, in this friendly, in that friendly. Will be breathing a long sigh of relief the next couple of hours once all these friendlies and qualifiers are done. Such a big time of the year, but yes, the World Cup's coming up, and it's such a big moment, yes, but what is big as well for everyone with the back end of the season, that's to be said. We want everyone to be fit and firing. Nobody wants any complaints about anything, and now Croatia. And still a very slow build up, but they get it out to the left hand side to Perisic. Goes back, the ball is swung in, too much on it. Well held there by Bento. They lose the ball instantly though, and Croatia do want it back in the middle. Sucic. Again, Brazil, as I say, the Croatian press is again very much this new school forward of man marking and almost centre backs following here, there, and everywhere. Whereas Brazil are just sat at the moment in quite a mid-block 4-4-2, making it difficult, making Croatia have to move them around almost. And now they're pressing a little bit higher. Modric. He's the furthest player back and closest to his own goal by the goalkeeper. This is good from Brazil. Force it all the way back to the goalkeeper, Livakovic, who punts it long, looking for the head of Kramaric. He's fighting and battling for it, and he does ever so well. The Hoffenheim man, ball forward to Budimir, and he is brought down there by Leo Pereira. Lovely little ball into him from Sucic, gets there in front of the, I'd say, lazy leg of Leo Pereira, watching that back as well. Should be much better. Croatia now we're starting to just slowly get the things going in this game, knocking it around, getting a bit of positivity, a bit of possession. And as per usual, just Luka Modric has his fingerprints all over this game so far for Croatia. Once again, here come Croatia down the right-hand side, edge of the area. Can they get a strike away? On the left boot of Batarina, strike comes in outside the area. It is sliced wide. Did it take a deflection off a Brazilian boot? No, it didn't. That was Kaleta stepping up, trying to make something happen. The left-sided centre-back couldn't really do too much about it. I like the idea, the execution, though, a little bit poor and a little bit off. It will be a goal kick for Brazil. Bento takes it short. Currently has it at walking pace at the moment, just outside his own penalty area. Tries to spray a ball almost along the surface from right to left. It's picked up too easily by Stanisic on the right. Looks for a 1-2 with Sucic. It's well intercepted by the duo of Santos and Danilo Oliveira. Brazil once again have it at the back. Of course, you can understand neither team really want to make a mistake at the moment, but here come Brazil. This might be the chance. Lovely play, Casemiro into the feet of João Pedro. Here comes Vinicius Jr. down the left-hand side, cuts inside on his right boot, ball into the box, takes a deflection off the back of Sucic. Cleared away, that's a poor clearance, so picked up by Vinicius Jr. Back into the edge of the area, strike at goal, saved well by Livakovic. And then the rebound, there's no rebound, Kaleta nods it back into the arms of his goalkeeper. That's the best piece of play so far. Brazil really opening up Croatia. You can see the strike back as well. Oliveira was in there, Enrique was as well. It was just a poor clearance picked up by Vinny Jr. Lovely ball into the box there. And the goalkeeper does so well because he almost commits all his weight to the left-hand side and moves to the left-hand side. But a top save from Dominik Livakovic. Could have been a 1-0 to Brazil in this game. It was Danilo Oliveira getting forward though. That's what they will need is, I know it's this 4-2-4 set-up and almost Ibanez playing as the inverted full-back. Make a back three, Santos given the licence to fly up and down that left-hand side. Still need one of those midfielders to get forward, box to box like Casemiro controlling. It's one of them where whoever sits next to Casemiro has such a task on the hand. You need to be able to be obviously a gifted footballer to play for Brazil. That's number one. You need to be able to cover a lot of ground, cover a lot of grass, get up support. It's a lot of an ask, and I can imagine that's why Danilo Oliveira's playing this evening. Andre Santos played the other evening against France. So I can imagine it's just trying to find who Ancelotti likes. Next to Casemiro, who Casemiro feels comfortable with. Ball in the middle, Casemiro plays it through. It's Enrique, gets it burst in front of his man. He's brought down as well. And that'll be the first yellow card of the evening. Looks to be Ivan Perisic. The man who will pick up the first yellow card. It was one of them, you can see it a mile off. If Perisic wins it, it's a great tackle to win the ball. And Enrique just gets a toe to it. Knocks the ball past the former Inter Milan wing back. And it's a foul, good opportunity as well from a free kick. So full confirmation, Ivan Perisic. First yellow carded player this evening. It's this morning, for example, for myself here in England. Whereas in America, of course, in Orlando, it was an 8 Eastern kickoff. So this free kick now is a real danger. Brazil have a lot of good set piece takers. It's just who's going to take this one. So Vinicius Jr. Mateus Cunha. Looks like it'll be Danilo Oliveira, the central midfielder to take. It's on the right hand half space, about maybe 24 yards out. Left footed effort. Maybe we'll go with the right foot to bend it round the wall. Maybe Oliveira's stepping up. He takes it short on the edge of the area. Strike comes in. It's off the top of the bar. I believe it's gone out for a corner though. It's played short to Mateus Cunha. It's blocked away, comes off the bar, goes over, comes off of one of the cameras and then comes back down. So it will be another set piece, and this time will be a corner for Brazil. So a very well worked free kick opportunity there. Cunha's shot was on target, but if it was going in, that's something that we'll never really know. It was well blocked away by Vuskovic. Now his corner comes in. It's an outswinger. Heads go up, but it's well played away this time by Kaleta. Wanted to be out to the right hand side where heads go back up from this cross. There's too much on it there. So many players. Oliveira's there, Casemiro's there, Pereira's there. The big headers of the ball are there. And it does go wide, and that does mean it's a good chance for the water break, the cooling break, as I said earlier. Just over 24 minutes played. Brazil 0, Croatia 0. So you're not missing any of the action so far. 24 minutes on the clock. Cooling break, about 2 or 3 minutes, but so far in this game, Both teams, even though only a friendly, just don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to give the other team an upper edge at all. So far in this game, it has to be said that the team have really grabbed it and taken advantage as perhaps they could have done or should have done. Does remain goalless. If you are joining us, it's English audio commentary. Brazil hosting Croatia. International friendly, the last one before the two. At least two sides, every side involved at the World Cup will be gearing up for said tournament. As I say, what's 10 weeks, give or so? Best chance of this game falling for Brazil. Just watching it back, lovely ball cut back from Vinicius Juniors to Danilo Oliveira. It's a great one-handed save from Dominik Livakovic. Stop Brazil taking a lead just before this water break. It's about 23 degrees in Orlando this evening, but of course it's very humid as any part of Florida, of course, but it seems to be the more doing the drinks out of the necessity of, look, this is the conditions you're going to play in, and when you get to the World Cup, get used to them now instead of having to adjust to them. I know it's only 2 games we're here for, but a little bit of mental gymnastics we can help with, I can assume is a positive. So we will get back in. It is a goal kick for Croatia, probably about 90 seconds, 2 minutes at max, possibly that drinks break was, so it doesn't take too much time. And we all remember the Club World Cup last year. I can imagine the closer to the summer and closer to when the World Cup is underway, the drinks break will be a very welcome sign. And we are back underway. Livakovic rolls it out to Satalo, who gets us back underway. And here come Croatia down the right-hand side. Which one here for Stanisic. Tries to go past a few. Lovely pass into Kramaric. He's still going. And here come Croatia. Whipped out to Perisic on the left-hand side. His cross is deflected away. Deflected as far as Modric, who goes in to win it, but it's a foul there. Referee says no. Luis Enrique, he's brought down. That one definitely should be a foul. Perisic already on a yellow card. It wasn't him who fouled Enrique. It was Kaleta. But Perisic throws the ball high up in the air. He's got to be careful. As the former Inter winger doesn't get pucks shown into the book. I'm surprised that isn't the yellow card for the Croatian number 5, Duje Kaleta. Oh, it is, apologies. It's the broadcasters trying to make a fool out of me. So you would have to say that left-hand side for Croatia. Now both yellow carded, Perisic, Kaleta, both on yellows. If you are Enrique, you're almost waiting for Vinicius Junior to do something. Of course we all are. But Enrique down that right-hand side has been absolutely electric so far. Marquinhos back to Bento, the Brazilian in goal. The Marquinhos, a decent high press on here for Croatia. Of course, as well, those drink breaks do give that opportunity for the coaches to have a few words, like what they don't like about what the teams are doing. So, for example, you might see a bit more of a certain way of football. You might see more of a press from Croatia. You think of man management and responding to and listening to his players and responding to what's happening on the field. Ancelotti has been absolutely excellent in that for 30 plus years now. So as well, the Brazilians are usually quite outlandish in what they want. I can imagine someone like Ancelotti who lets the freedom fly. His golden boy at Real Madrid, Vinicius Junior, is there as well, so he's not used to them in that position. Casemiro, of course, former Real Madrid man. At the moment, they can't crack the Croatian code. Modric nods it forward for Rudimir in the middle. Here come Croatia. Possible counter-attack is on. Right-hand side, Stanisic. Well, he's forced to go back to Sucic and into Modric. Well, Modric, like it's 2012, skips away from two Brazilian players in the middle. Lovely quick feet there from the skipper. To Sucic. 1-2, Modric back to Sucic, plays a lovely ball to the right hand side, heavy touch there from Stanisic. He's still got the ball though. Or split back to Modric. Kalitakar, Modric, sprays it out to Perisic on the left hand side. Goes left, goes right, jinks in one side, trying to find some space for a cross. He dinks one, it's not a great one, quite a flat cross, and easily headed away by Marquinhos at the first chance, first opportunity, if you will. Kalitakar. Sucic, again, this is where maybe Croatia want to get on the ball a little bit more than what they were doing. Stanisic. Moved it to Sucic, who puts a lovely ball out of his right boot to Perisic on the left hand side. Looks to take an Ibanez. Does, gets the ball into the box, but it's a bit of catching practice for Bento. It was a great player to get past Ibanez. I think he's done really well to say he's a centre-back playing at right-back. He's not used to being out in those positions and having to go toe-to-toe with a pacey winger or full-back and holding up with them. He's done really well so far to say hold up with it, really. Still a long way to go though, of course. Casemiro has it in the heart of the field. Sprays it out to Ibanez. It's Enrique. I said he's been excellent so far in this first half. Real highlights. When he gets on the ball, he wants to go forward. Danilo Oliveira. Vinicius Junior again. He's had a quiet first half, but Real Madrid man doesn't need much to create something, does it? Marquinhos, this is much better, quick first time passing. So as I say that, curse of the commentator as Enrique with a heavy touch doesn't give it away, but they lose momentum. Out to Santos on the left, further wide to Cunha for your 1-2s between himself and Vinicius Junior. Ball into the box. Not enough on it, and it's easily dealt with at the back. Again, Marquinhos. And there's even simple things to spoke about a partner for Casemiro in the middle. You know, who will partner Marquinhos at the back. Actually, just so many years. Thiago Silva was there, so it wasn't a question of who's partnering Marquinhos, it's a question of who's playing backup to Marquinhos and Thiago Silva. On the left, Hugh dips in right left. Casemiro goes for goal. It's blocked away, and then he tries to get in front of the clearance. Blocked off his right thigh and out for a goal kick. Probably saw the referee put his arm up there for a free kick and said no, it's a goal kick. Livakovic plays it short to Vuskovic. Is it down the left-hand side? Ball falls for Modric kindly in the middle. Croatia looking to fly forward here. Down the right-hand side, Stanisic. A little bit of support. Ball played long. Really so close. Budimir try to hold it up there for Baturina. That would have been close. We have played over half an hour of this first half. It's still goalless. Watching 35 minutes on the clock. Both teams are playing some good stuff out there. It's just both trying to find a flow. I feel Croatia have a bit more of a flow between the two sides. Touches for the centre-backs, it has to be said. Some of them be disappointing from the point of view of Carlo Ancelotti. A lot of Brazilian contingencies. You want to get it into someone in the middle. You want it more with Casemiro at his feet, and at the moment it's just not working out that way so far. Batarina dropping a bit deeper to almost form midfield three. That's a sloppy pass though, picked up into Enrique. Cunha coming forward, trying to stab it through for Enrique. Good first touch, strike is well saved by Livakovic there. João Pedro was in there for the opportunity, was poked back through. A lovely piece of play. I was speaking about not wanting to make a mistake. Well, my word, that was a mistake in the middle. Vinicius Junior made a lovely run to the left-hand side, and both Stanisic and Sucic just almost gravitational pull towards the Real Madrid man. And João Pedro made a central run and it opened up well for him there. Really good piece of play. The ball through from Cunha as well was top notch. So he just poked it through with the outside of his right boot. Great piece of play. It's a great save. It's off the backside of Livakovic, watching the replay as well. Instinctual save, it has to be said. Enrique, he's taken down there by Perisic. Advantage has been played, and then Pedro gives away a foul against Satalo, I do believe. But what Brazil are asking here is, Perisic is already on a yellow card. It's not a late tackle at all on Enrique, but he's got to be careful here as Perisic, because I think that will be his final warning almost, if you will. It's not a dangerous tackle on Enrique, but I won't be surprised if he comes off at half-time. It's only a friendly, of course. You don't want to win these things, but well, you don't want Perisic being sent off at the same time either. Vuskovic is at his own penalty area. Talo. Just looking at the ages of these two sides. Brazil with an average age of 28.1, Croatia 29.5, so that shows that the experience is, it's an age, and time is definitely with Croatia in comparison to Brazil. They do of course have a lot of experienced players out there to Brazil in terms of age as well, but you've got the likes of João Pedro's only 24, Vinicius 25, Cunha 26, the likes of a 34-year-old Casemiro, 31-year-old Marquinhos, Santos is 32 years of age. Whereas Croatia, the likes of Luka Modric at 40, Perisic at 37, Kramaric 34, Budimir 34, we've got Vuskovic at 19, Stanisic 25, Sucic at 22, so I also feel that getting to play alongside these fantastic players is only going to help these youngsters, if you will, into better players. Vuskovic very highly rated, but to be able to play next to the likes of Satalo, a good 7 years older than Kaneta Khan, 10 years older than him. Always a bonus. best chance of this game so far did fall for Brazil. Best 2 chances have fallen from Brazil, I should really say. Croatia haven't really been in it as much as I'm sure they would like to be. Stats just a shade over 60% possession for Brazil. Shots 7, 2 on target. Croatia just a 2-0 on target. So Bento in the Brazil goal has been kept very, very quiet. I'm sure his kick could just be washed and no need to wash it ahead of the World Cup. You can just slot it straight on, mate. No need, you haven't been worked this evening. Well, that's poor in the middle. Suchik picks it up. Flown out to the left-hand side. Drag comes in. And taken a block there. It's picked up by Bento. Kramaric isn't happy with something, I know that much. As soon as I'm saying the Brazilian goalkeeper's been very quiet and too much to do, he's almost sprung into action there. Less than 5 to go. We'll get a good couple of minutes of stoppage time, more due to the drinks break than anything, I would say. It's been a really good fluid game so far. Speaking of a player who's fluid, Luis Enrique goes past 1, goes past 2, right hand side, this is 1 in. Did win on his 5, this Junior, lovely touch by the Real Madrid man, edge of the area, Cunha with a curling effort. Good strong hand on it there from Livakovic. Oh, it's a lovely piece of play, Vinicius Junior. It was cleared away, but only cleared away as far as the Real Madrid man. He dropped it dead with a great, lovely first touch. Cunha's on the edge of the area, takes a touch, opens his body up, goes for the curling effort. What a save from Livakovic. The attack will continue, of course, with a Brazilian corner, with that man who just earned the corner from his shot, Mateus Cunha, to take the out swinger here. His arm goes up. Swings it in. It's a poor one. It's headed straight away, but it's headed back. Cunha will pick it up. A ball will be swung back, and that's a lovely delivery. Much better defending there that time. Brazil still have the ball though. Croatia struggling whenever Brazil do come forward. They are giving them a lot of questions at the moment. Croatia can't answer. That's great dancing feet from Vinicius Junior. I won't be surprised there. Kramaric has taken it down. Surprised it's not a yellow card. Let's get a confirmation. Vinicius going from left to right, right to left. Too quick. Well, the Hoffenheim man. Perhaps he might be a little bit lenient. We've already 2 Croatian players on yellow cards. I say he was snapped down. I don't mean snapped down. It was a 2-footer, but Vinicius got the better of him too easy. Now this is a great opportunity on the left-hand side for a free kick to be swung in. Cunha's there. Danilo Oliveira will be the man to take. It's a great delivery, heads go. Livakovic comes out to clear, but the referee will bring a halt to the game straight away. I do believe Livakovic has either taken a bang on the head or he's taken a nasty, nasty fall, perhaps on the high of his shoulders. Came out to punch, he did ever so well to get their brave goalkeeping by the Croatian number 1. Back comes out to claim it. He might knock heads with, I believe it's Casemiro. It's almost the right elbow, the right shoulder of Casemiro. Nothing malicious that goes up to try and win the header that knocks into Livakovic. He's back up to his feet though, but that might be a bit of a sore one for the Croatian number 1. Imagine as well, it's close to half time. They might be saying, look, let's get this first half done and dusted and let's move on from there. Watching the back end though. Oh. On this first half, you're joining us. Thank you for joining. It's been an interesting, intriguing watch so far between the two. And 2 teams that will have high hopes, of course, at the tournament in the summer. There's always pressure on Brazil, isn't there, in Croatia. We thought Qatar would be Luka Modric's final dance, but he continues to prove everyone wrong. Ball forward there, lovely touch, and it's a foul. Croatia have won a free kick in a dangerous area here. Lovely first touch from Rudimir there. That's Casemiro who brought his man down. Manchester United man almost to a degree playing for a contract. He's had a contract in the summer and already made his decision to be moving on, and that's mutual. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a dangerous free kick on the left hand side, about 25 yards out. Luka Modric, a little magician, he's over it. Floats it in, header comes in, what a save from Bento. It's been very quiet for the Brazilian keeper. There's a lovely ball. Vuskovic with the header. What a header it was as well. The vertical, the leap he got on it, all of that to boot. But a fingertip save to put it over the bar. And so a great save. Just minutes another corner though. We've got 3 minutes of stoppage time and we're about to hit 1 minute of that. It's never a bad time to score, but this will be a great time for Croatia to maybe take the lead if they can. Corner is nodded away and now here come Brazil. This is where they're ever so dangerous on the counter-attack. Cunha plays a great ball forward for Vinicius Jr. Gets it past his man. Cuts back. Can he find a player? Yes, he can in the box. In stoppage time. It's Brazil who grab the lead. Danilo Oliveira is the man. He had that chance earlier and forced a wonder save from Dominik Livakovic. This time, though, no mistakes from the Botafogo midfielder. You can just see a big smile on his face. Formerly of Nottingham Forest as well. Spent a couple of seasons at the City Ground, scoring 6 goals. He's been at Botafogo since last summer. But that's all about Vinicius Jr. It is a world-class finish, though, from the midfielder. Vinicius Jr. cuts inside, takes out 3 Croatian players, plays it back onto the left boot of Danilo Oliveira, and a cool, calm finish from the Botafogo man. Gives Brazil a 1-0 lead, just as you thought. So the possibility that Croatia coming forward a few times there from set pieces could just force a great save out of Bento. And the bench is dancing there, happy. What a time to score. I just said about it's never a bad time to score, of course. We all know that. But what a time that was. The score for Brazil in the few extra minutes of the first half. Just as well, Casemiro did pick up a yellow card following that foul on Rudimir. Just about to play the 3 minutes of stoppage time, though. Imagine there might be an extra minute or so following the Brazilian goal and celebrations. Croatia haven't lost in 9 matches. And although it's only a friendly, that run is at risk at the moment. Brazil and Croatia have not drawn any of their last 4 matches against each other either. Bento goes to take the goal kick, but the referee will blow the half-time whistle. An impressive first half from both sides, I'd have to say. And just as Croatia were finding their rhythm with a great-headed effort from Luka Vuskovic from that set, was a great save from Bento from that set corner. Brazil on a wicked counter-attack. Cunha played a great first-time pass to Vinicius Jr. He drove down the left-hand side of the Real star, cut back there into Danilo Oliveira, who coolly, calmly slotted it past Livakovic in goal to at half-time give Brazil a 1-0 lead. Do join us shortly. We're back for the second half in 15 minutes or so. It's international friendly. It's Brazil 1, Croatia 0. Well, it's a warm welcome back to this evening, or early hours of Wednesday morning's English audio commentary of the international friendly. The last one before we really get prepped and ready for the World Cup, as Brazil face Croatia live from Orlando, Florida, USA, from the Camping World Stadium. Doesn't seem to be too many changes, if any, at half-time, but I will bring you through them in a moment if there is any. Just waiting for full confirmation from my broadcasters as to if there is any. Usually in these friendlies at half-time there is usually a few, but at the moment I don't believe there is any. But it is Brazil 1, Croatia 0. It was a very good half of football, it has to be said, for a friendly. Sometimes you think, are these going to live up to the billing? Brazil, Croatia, two big nations. Of course, Messi in the World Cup last time out, 9 shots in that first half for Brazil, 4 on target, whereas Croatia could only muster up 4 shots, but that one on target that they had is where it just went into about stoppage time of the first half. It was a great save from Bento, and from the following corner was a lovely counter-attack from Brazil, which resulted in Danilo Oliveira giving the Samba boys the 1-0 lead that they currently hold. Croatia was their biggest chance, I say. It was a lovely ball in from Luka Modric, who else, onto the head of Luka Vuskovic. His header was saved well. Mateus Cunha put it into a perfect, superb area for Vinicius Junior to run onto it. Left hand side, just chopped inside, took away 3 Croatia players, put it on a plate for Danilo Oliveira. And Danilo Oliveira would have had one as well if it weren't for a world-class save from Livakovic in the Croatian goal. And also João Pedro had one saved by the Croatian number 1. He's had a fantastic evening so far. And even if it was to be a 1-0 loss, at the moment, he would definitely put there for my player of the match. He has to be said, Vinicius Junior's been great. Danilo Oliveira got the goal, of course, but he's also been excellent box-to-box. In the first half, I was speaking about who's going to partner Casemiro in the World Cup, and this performance for the former Nottingham Forest and current Botafogo midfielder doesn't do him any harm. He's been absolutely excellent, it has to be said. Just about 3 minutes into this second half. Brazil 1, Croatia 0. You are joining. Thank you for listening into this English audio commentary of this friendly. Final stop, really, before the World Cup. The next time it will be an international football game. Well, we'll be very much a few days away from the Road to 26, as it's being called, being played. As I said, doesn't seem to be any changes so quickly for Brazil, as Croatia just have the ball just outside their own penalty area. Being hassled and hounded is Stanisic. And so Talo has to lump it long away. And as far as Casemiro, he nods it forward for Cunha. A little cute back heel looking for the run of Vinicius Junior. Too much on it. Out of play for a goal kick for Croatia. So as I say quickly for Brazil, Bento is in goal. Back four of Ibanez, Skipper, Marquinhos, Pereira and Santos, with Oliveira partnered by yellow carded Casemiro. Enrique on the right, Vinicius on the left, with João Pedro and Mateus Cunha, the Premier League duo, playing up top. Looks to be a 4-4-2, if you will, for Brazil. Whereas for Croatia, looks to be a 3-4-3, very much so in the first half. Livakovic in goal, standout player as well in goal. Back three from right to left of Sutalo, Vuskovic and a yellow carded Kaleteka. Another yellow carded player in Perisic on the left and Stanisic on the right as wing-backs, with Skipper Modric partnered by Sucic in the middle of the park, and a forward three of Baturina, Budimir and Kramaric. The ages in the first half of these players: Modric 40, Kramaric well into his 30s, Perisic 37. The 37-year-old flying down the left-hand side at the moment. Ball into the box, takes a slight deflection and takes all of the pace off the cross, but still Croatia come forward. Might fall outside the area for a strike at goal, it does. And it is well wide. I know the Camping World Stadium is a rather large stadium, but that might have ended up on the freeway to be more American there. Well into the stands, that shot from Petar Sucic. And it is a goal kick for Brazil to take. Taking shot to Leo Pereira. And possibly maybe the one thing to be disappointed with, there's a lot of touches and the ball for the defenders in Marquinhos and Pereira. Great players, of course, to this day and age. Centre-backs have to be able to get on the ball and knock it around, but I want to get into the likes here of Vinicius Junior. Ball forward looking for João Pedro. Well intercepted in the middle by Satalo. All the way back to Livakovic. Punts it long, looking for the run of Baturina. Como man, he's having an excellent season in the Serie A. Under Cesc Fabregas, one of the more young hopefuls, it has to be said. Although the possible past, quote-unquote, golden generation of the likes of Brozovic, Mandzukic, are gone for Croatia. There are some youngsters, Stanisic in his mid-20s, Sotalo's only 26, Sucic 23, Vuskovic still only a teenager, of course, Baturina in his early 20s. There is still a squad past the likes of Modric and Kramaric. In the second half, Brazil going from right to left in the usual yellow jersey, blue shorts and white socks, whereas Croatia in their away strip of this evening going from a left to right. Ball forward to Enrique. That slipped past one or two, but it still has it on the right hand side of the penalty area. Twists and turns. Whenever I see a Brazilian play twist and turn, you think of Joga Benito, samba dancing. It's to be said, that's what Enrique has done. I think, again, you think of Brazil's sides, one that's seen floated around, for example, is Neymar's not in the squad. He's had his injury worries and injury troubles since the Qatar World Cup in 2022. Has to be said that, for example, Luis Enrique isn't a sexy name, if you will. But my word, I think he's been electric this evening on that right-hand side. Not so much of that old-school Brazilian flair like this man does all the time, Vinicius Junior, on the left-hand side. Cutting in left, cutting in right. But that is a superb tackle from Stanisic there to clear it away. Clears it away actually off of the backside of Vinicius Junior. The linesman's given it as a throw-in halfway into their own half on the right-hand side for Croatia. Ball switch from right to left. Under hit looking for Perisic. But the header then from Ibanez is poor, and Croatia will pick it up. In both managers, I spoke about it in the first half. Very, very, very little space in those dugout areas for both bosses. Managers these days like to prowl the technical area, get as close to the pitch as they can. In technical areas, obviously you see those lines of can't go further than this. Well, Ancelotti and Dalic very much cross those lines many times, because you put one foot in front of the other and you're out of your technical area. There's no space in those dugouts at all. There's no give, if you will. Still on the ball and knocking it around nicely again. In that first half, there was the second best side, but I thought when they got on the ball and they looked confident, especially when Sucic or Modric are on the ball, there's just an extra bit of quality. And Croatia always have. They have the technicians and they have the work rate to go with it as well. They're coming forward here, ball into the feet of Kramaric, heavy touch. And that heavy touch fanged its way into the arms of Bento, the Brazilian. Kramaric, one of those players who's played so many times on his international side. Modric again, he always, rightfully so of course, gets all the plaudits as the 40-year-olds, shining in Milan now. He's played 195 times for his country. January 2006. Again, so many times he's come up trumps for his side. As Kramaric, the 34-year-old, still playing his trade in Germany with Hoffenheim, 112 appearances. Nothing to be sniffed at all. Here come Brazil. João Pedro. A little bit too aggressive there, Vuskovic, giving away a foul. Spoke about that man-to-man marking as well. Brazil, it's not their game to do that, whereas, for example, Vuskovic has been given the job of João Pedro man marking this evening. At the moment, João Pedro doing a good job to one-up him at almost every single stop. And similarly as well for Brazil on the ball, it almost form a back three with this, with Ibanez, Marquinhos and Pereira. Santos allowed a lot of space on the left-hand side to get further forward. Ibanez plays it to Luis Enrique. So 2-on-1 against him. Still has the ball. Ooh, lovely piece of play there. Unfortunately, though, he slipped of the foot there. And last off the St. Petersburg winger. Play for a throw-in on the left-hand side. And then trying to maybe a little bit too cheeky, putting it through the legs of Sucic, who goes through the legs of him, but that touch then, Sucic just gets in front of his man and it's a trickle out for a throw-in. Croatia move it swiftly from left to right. To the feet of Stanisic. The Bayern Munich man playing as a right wing-back, but can play right, plays full-back, plays a centre-back, plays a defensive midfielder. A great utility man to have in your squad, I can imagine. He puts it down the line for Perisic, takes it past Enrique, ball into the box, is nodded away by Marquinhos, only to find Modric, who sprays a lovely pass out to Stanisic on the right, takes a touch on his left foot. Don't know if that's a cross or a shot, but it ends up in the arms of a Bento. It's one of them where I can imagine if it goes in the back of the net, you say it's a shot all day long. When it's easily into the arms of the goalkeeper, you're probably sitting there going, oh no, that was a cross. Oh, Joe, I think that's a shot. I never meant that one. Very interesting. And in the second half, Croatia found a bit more of a groove, if you will, it has to be said. Got on the ball a lot more. They've tried to dictate play a little bit more. Brazil just looks so dangerous, so whenever they do go forward. That's a bigger problem, it has to be said. Marquinhos just inside his own half. Still Brazil 1, Croatia 0, approaching the hour mark. Marquinhos, Casemiro flicks it forward for Pereira. Leo Pereira, that is, yes, the central defender making a long run there. Instead, though, it finds the feet of Kaletakar. Brazil, I can imagine, as well, they're quite happy maybe for Croatia to get on the ball, knock it around. Brazil are 1-0 up. Their goal came from a counter-attack from a corner. They might be quite happy to let Croatia have the ball, use their pace in behind. Of course, you do look at the two benches. Oh, ball, look, it's a poor ball. That was a really good opportunity. Apologies there. Left-hand side, really good chance. That's probably the first mistake Luka Modric has made all evening, has to be said. Poor pass from him. Do look at both benches. Doubt there might be a goalkeeper change, but I can imagine there might be a lot of changes in terms of the entirety of the squad. It looks like there might be at least a triple change coming up here for Croatia. Luka Modric will definitely be making way. And the broadcasters do never help out here, so do bear with me for just a few moments as I do look to ensure who's coming on and who's coming off. It is definitely a triple change, though. You can be more, to be quite honest. As soon as I was looking at the benches, that's when the substitution started to be made. Down the left-hand side, here come Brazil. Vinicius Junior, does he just keep it in? He doesn't, unfortunately. stretching a little bit too much there. Brazil are going to make a few changes as well. Definitely a double change coming on. Kaleta is another player to come off. And so is Budimir as well. With Fabinho coming on for the yellow carded Casemiro. A lot of experience there, 1-for-1. And there will be Ibanez coming off and Danilo, the Juventus man, coming on at right back. More of a solidified out-and-out right back, it has to be said there. So we'll say that was a lot easier. My broadcaster made it a lot easier for me to be able to find out the changes there compared to what happened with Croatia. Croatia on the ball in the middle for the moment. Moving through the gears. Now, of course, if there's no Luka Modric, it might be more of a team game, you'd have to say. He's getting confirmation. Pasalic is on for Modric. Pong Grasic is on for Kaleta and Musa is on for Kramaric. There's the full changes. Took a lot longer than I would have liked to get full confirmation of all those changes. Got there in the end. As I said, the Brazilian ones nice and easy. Didn't make it hard for me to have to find them out. Mario Pasalic. Those substitutions. I have to say that definitely could have a fresh legs in the midfield. Don't believe there will be anything in terms of a change of tactics. Definitely for Brazil, there won't be. Fabinho will just, of course, slot into where Casemiro was. If anything, Danilo probably offers more of a threat down the right-hand side than Ibanez does. The Juventus man has played in the back three, has played at full-back, has played at wing-back. They're very versatile. Again, sometimes that's what you need in a squad, in an international, don't you? Those utility players. Big time utility players as well. Coming forward here are Croatia with Musa. Big tackle from Fabinho. Had to get that one right, and he does it superbly. There's the former Liverpool man. Cunha tries to come forward, but it's intercepted well by Sucic in the middle. Goes back to Sakalo, who goes back to the goalkeeper, and then quickly fizzled it into the feet of Pasalic in the middle of the field. Over an hour played, 64 minutes on the clock. English audio commentary of Brazil hosting Croatia in this final stop before the World Cup international friendly. Brazil 1, Croatia 0. Goal and stoppage time of the first half from Danilo Oliveira. After some blistering counter-attack from Brazil from a corner from Croatia. The second half, Croatia have maybe controlled the game a little bit more, but I do think that's something to do with Brazil being a one to the gut, you'd have to say. Croatia ball into the box, looking for Musa. Great scrum thrown there by Leo Pereira. Bundles it into the arms of his own goalkeeper, but again, Croatia, because they are getting on the ball, they are getting a bit more confidence about themselves, it has to be said. The ball was Sakalo on the right. the Vuskovic, and as I said, it still is that back three, still a 3-4-3 for Croatia, still a 4-4-2, 4-2-3, or however you do like to look at it, for Brazil. Well, Musa, he's already been a bit of a nuisance since coming on for Kramaric. 1-2 out to the right hand side. Stanisic takes a heavy first touch, but he still gets on the end of it. Dinks it back to Sucic. He's going to swing a ball into the box. Not a bad one. There's no one there at the end of it, but a Brazilian head in the skipper Marquinhos. And I think he's not happy with his defence there, because he's saying, I get some communication. I could have taken a touch there. Could have just played it back to my goalkeeper. Instead I had to clear it away for Croatian corner, and there was really no need for it at all. From this corner, maybe Croatia as well, were a bit fearful from a corner, because last time they had one, that's said that they didn't concede. They're going to make a substitution here though, and this is a big moment. João Pedro is going to be coming off. It's going to be double substitution. Gabriel Martinelli. And he will be the second man to come on. Vinicius Junior. His game has been run when it's to Premier League. The Brazilians to come on in their place. Thiago and Martinelli. Two players who played their training not only the Premier League but in London. Of course, the second top goal scorer in the league, Igor Thiago, he comes on for João Pedro. And Arsenal's left winger, Gabriel Martinelli, he comes on for Vinicius Junior. Ball swung in from the corner, it's cleared away, and they are chasing it down with Martinelli. Nearly gets a great defensive play there from Stanisic. Plays it back to his goalkeeper. And they get back on the way, but for a moment there, just thinking, there's a bit of deja vu about to happen. But now Croatia once again on the ball. We would see is Thiago maybe lose a bit of pace, maybe not link-up play. I think Igor Thiago's a great striker for linking up the play. Well, maybe you lose João Pedro's creativeness. Maybe that gives Cunha, though, that more of a responsibility to be the creative force, perhaps, in the team. Martinelli, such a pacey player on the left or the right, wherever he plays for Arsenal, or, of course, this evening for Brazil. They'll still have it at the back, and that's a late foul there. And one of the men has not been on the field too long in Pongracic. The ball forward, Enrique gets in front of his man, just clips him at the heels, but I mean, watching it back, Pongracic, he's a little bit smarter, a little bit cuter, possibly. There might have been a chance there that gets away with that one there. But 68 minutes, approaching the 70th minute mark, we're basically halfway through this second half. And once again, we'll have our or maybe it's going off the first half, closer to 3 minutes stoppage for a cooling/drinking break. There's going to be a few substitutions as well being made here. Definitely a double change coming up as Croatia do make their way, not off the field, but to the technical area for take on a few fluids. Get prepared for the back end of this second half, but definitely Patarina will be the first man to leave the field. Looks like Moro will be coming on as well, and it'll be Lovro Maya who's coming on in place in the attacking areas. Watching that goal back, what a clinical counter-attack that was. Superb to watch. Again, as I said, Croatia, they might be a little bit sceptical, again, with going from set pieces because they were counted upon from that said set piece in a corner, and you see the replay of Dominik Livakovic almost just shoulders going, I can't do all about that. I've already had 2 world-class saves in the first half. That was world-class counter from Brazil. Seeing Ancelotti, round of applause from the Brazil boss. Also is waiting on full confirmation. Radulo Baturina has gone off, and Lovro Mayer is on to the field of play. Then just waiting on full confirmation through the second substitution is for Croatia. And it's Ivan Barisic who's come off, and the other Pasalic has come on. So he's on a yellow card. He'd only just put the armband on as well a few months ago when Luka Modric left the field of play, but he is off. It's Marko Pasalic, number 24, who is on to the field of play. So just that couple of minutes stoppage, we are back underway now. We'll just get it back added on to the back end of the 90th minutes after we played that, but 72 minutes on the clock. It's Brazil 1, Croatia 0. It's a great counter-attacking goal from Danilo Oliveira. Lovely finish from the Botafogo midfielder to make it 1-0. The second half's been a little bit more tepid. And the first half, that's down to, again, it's a friendly. I think both teams want to make sure there's no injuries picked up in the second half. They want to make sure they get back to the club football in good condition. They want to make sure they make an impressive stint in terms of who's going to be maybe going to the World Cup. Of course, we do have a quick look at said World Cup as Brazil are just on the ball inside their own half, and we look at Brazil. They've got Haiti, Morocco and Scotland as a group, and the UK will be against both these sides, if you will. Croatia will be facing England, Ghana and Panama in their groups. It will be Croatia versus England in the first outing as well. So that'll be an interesting one, of course. A rematch of the 2018 World Cup semi-final from Russia. Forward though come Croatia. Ball swinging from right to left. Mayer plays it down for Sucic. His shot is blocked away. Well, that is definitely something there. Vuskovic, 50 yards out, goes for goal and absolutely slices it wide. Maybe slicing it wide is giving it a bit of credit, it has to be said. Yeah, I think in the second half Croatia have been the better side, have controlled the game a little bit more. They haven't really created a top-notch opportunity, but second half alone, just a shade under 70% possession for the Croats. One shot from Brazil compared to the 5 for Croatia, but only one on target. And that would be very, very disappointing. Which in the first half you can see Brazil, they had possession, 9 shots, 4 on target. You can almost see again that Brazil have just gone, right, let's get through this second half with no injuries, as I said earlier. No real problems and can move on. It's Tuesday evening in America, Wednesday morning where I am in England. So you can imagine, for example, Matheus Cunha, Igor Thiago, Gabriel Martinelli, Casemiro, all of them, of course, that are playing for English clubs, going to go back over, ready for games in the coming weeks and the coming months to end the season. Croatia, it's a poor ball on the left-hand side, and there'll be a throw-in for Brazil on their right-hand side. Danilo to take. There might be a couple of changes coming up here, though. for Brazil. Looks like it'll be a triple change. First one coming off will be Douglas Santos. And it will be the goal scorer Danilo Oliveira, who will be coming off to boot as well. He did a great game, has to be said. Box to box next to Casemiro. Hendrick as well will be coming on. The player I've been very impressed with in his short stint in France with Lyon, the loan deal he signed from Real Madrid. Might even be a quadruple change coming on here for Brazil. Hendrick is on for Luis Enrique. Santos is on for Oliveira. As I say, the broadcasters never really help out with the complete substitutions. But it looks like Ryan as well has come on, the impressive Bournemouth youngster. Has come on for Mateus Cunha. So quadruple change. André Santos is on for Danilo. Ryan for Cunha. Hendrick for Luis Enrique. And Kaiki for Douglas Santos. So quadruple change for Brazil. Only Marquinhos, Leo Pereira and the goalkeeper Bento are the ones that are at least from the start still playing for Brazil. I can imagine the likes of Ryan, Hendrick, Igor Thiago, they will want a goal, of course, to just show Carlo Ancelotti that we're not just here to take up numbers, we're here to make an impression, we're here to want to win a World Cup, of course. But all those changes as well, what it can do to a game is it can really slow it down, can really halt the tempo, just because both teams are adapting, players are adapting to the game. And it's a friendly, so unfortunately already to a degree tempo's gone out of the game. Ancelotti, I don't even think he's taking a seat this evening. Brazil will be happy with this, it has to be said. Been a good evening so far for them. Good bounce back from the defeat to France a few nights ago. Bento has the ball. Marquinhos, deep inside their own half, plays it forward to Santos. He loses it. One outside the area. Here come Croatia. Left hand side, ball played to the edge of the area. Strike will come in. It's a curling effort. It's a curling effort that will go wide from Maya. Brazil getting away with one there to a degree. They just fell asleep at the back. A lot of players there, but not enough players to block the shot. Goal kick from Bento, boots it long over the head of Igor Thiago. And it's straight back at the feet of the back three of Croatia. Vuskovic pokes it forward to the left-hand side now. Pasalic playing there. Still is 3-4-3 Maya driving forward. Great interception, great tackle from behind. And that's really poor. Great tackle, I was going to say, from Fabinho, and then a poor clearance from Danilo, and Croatia get the ball straight back. Back to Ponkracic. Sutalo. Vuskovic still in the centre, the heart of that back three. To Ponkracic, the already yellow carded nearly. Ponkracic, ball into the box, just over hit. Oh, but kept alive on the right side by Stanisic. Great play from the wing back, edge of the area. Maya swings one into the box. It's kept alive. It's bobbling around. Sukic outside the area. Great tackle there from Andre Santos. And here come Brazil on a wicked counter-attack. But that is a wicked tackle as well from Sukic in midfield. All it can do there is clear it away, and Brazil will pick the ball back up. Just over 80 minutes played. Brazil 1, Croatia 0. Danilo Oliveira the goal in stoppage time of the first half, the difference maker. Second half, Croatia have had control of the game, but their best effort came about 60 seconds before Brazil put it in the back of their own net. From a set piece, a free kick, Luka Modric put it right on the head of Luka Vuskovic. His header was saved well by Bento. They got a corner from that said corner. Brazil countered with a fantastic transition. Cunha to Vinicius Jr. pulled it back, finished off by the Botafogo midfielder Danilo Oliveira. And in the second half, as I say, 60 plus possession for Croatia. They haven't been able to really trouble Bento in the Brazilian goal. Brazil pick it up in the middle. Ball taken past Vuskovic. My word. He just absolutely takes down Hendrick there. Almost like a bulldozer running over the on loan Leon Mount. I mean, Vuskovic puts his hand up and says, sorry, I just got my feet tangled up there. He gives Hendrick a high five, and I think Vuskovic, that'll be his last action of the game. Not sure if he got a yellow card or not. But his game is done and dusted. It looks to me that Budimir as well. He's going to be done as well. Swatched it back. Hendrick just puts it past him. He always takes him down with a clothesline. If anyone's an old wrestling fan, Bradshaw would be proud of that one. Is all I'm going to say. My word. Hendrick is usually a target, unfortunately, because he's so good. Almost Eden Hazard-esque, if you will. How many times he gets targeted. And he's just so good. But he's Smocic, who is on in place of Vuskovic. Watching the replay again. He was given a yellow card, but he was already on his way off as well, so. And Sukic is on as well in place of Budimir. Yeah, not many changes being made at this point of the game. I think he's just making sure players are getting their opportunity. Croatia, though, they won't stop if they can get an equaliser. That'll be a massive moment for them. Bento has the ball just inside his own penalty area. Looks to clear it long. It's all the way back to Carlo. Livakovic to the left-hand side. Then they muster up something. Brazil, I felt, have just been too happy to do nothing in the second half. Croatia, again, they've been the more proactive side, it has to be said. Ball forward into the middle of the field. Stanisic puts it forward. Here come Croatia. Ball across the face of goal. Maya's going to get on the end of it. Bento comes into no man's land. And Lovro Maya, one of the substitutes, one of the many substitutes this evening, taps it home. Bento, what is the Brazilian goalkeeper doing there? I have no idea. That is terrible goalkeeping. Don't take it away. It's great finish from Maya. It's a great piece of play from the substitute, the Croatian number 7. Lovro Maya gets his name on the score sheet. And the Croatian fans there happy. The flags are waving around. And the 28-year-old now playing straight of Wolfsburg. It's very, very highly rated when he was at Dynamo Zagreb all those years ago now. Playing almost a decade for Croatia. It's his 9th international goal for the Wolfsburg man, and he'll be another name on the plane. I think the squad will be starting. I'll have to be seen, but he's got a goal here against Brazil, so 85 minutes on the clock. This game just got very interesting. It's Brazil 1, Croatia 1. And where's one of them? Where do you go from here now? It has to be said. Forward come Brazil, touch from Hendrick. He gets past his man, he's brought down there by Shatalo. What will the referee's decision be? He points to the spot for the moment. So it looks like as soon as Croatia have got their equaliser, they may have to face a penalty here, straight from kick-off almost. I don't think the referee is going to overturn this. What an opportunity this is for Brazil. Shatalo, I will say, the eyes don't lie, Chico. He doesn't look too confident. It's one of them. I think he thinks he's fouled him. He's not trying to argue. It's his teammates that are arguing. And Zlatko Dalic is ever so disappointed on the sidelines, knowing that, yes, this is a friendly. In the grand, big scheme, this doesn't matter. But almost a score and then crumble straight away. The referee's had a quick word with VAR, points straight to the spot once again to confirm his decision. Well, Hendrick was the man to win it. He's come on, he's already been clotheslined by Vuskovic. And a 19-year-old, I've said I've been impressed with him since he's joined, since his entire career with him, the little parts I've seen of him. But it's been so impressive for Leon. He's got 6 goals in 14 appearances. But it won't be him. It will be Igor Thiago today, the penalty specialist for Brentford. He steps up and he slots it away. Brazil, just as soon as they lost their lead, they gain it back. And a 24-year-old Brazilian striker, what form he's been in for Brentford. What form he now can say he's in for Brazil. Getting his first ever goal for his side. He played 19 minutes against France in a 2-1 loss. This is his second appearance, his first goal from the spot. Puts his side back in the lead. Hendrick, as far as I could see, was going to be given the penalty. And I believe he said to Igor Thiago, no, you step up. You prove why you're here. Big moment, big penalty in the last few minutes of the game. Get your first goal for your country. Prove why you should maybe be on that plane. The second top goal scorer in the Premier League scores at the Camping World Stadium. It is Brazil 2, Croatia 1. High fives around, smiles around. Carlo Ancelotti with a big smile and a big high five for Igor Thiago. So just as soon as Croatia get that equaliser, and they're thinking, what are Croatia going to do? What are we in for? Brazil went, you poked the bear almost. We're going to go up and get a penalty. And one of the best penalty takers in the world, possibly, with Igor Thiago. We're going to regain our lead as if we never lost it. I might have just taken the wind out of the Croatian sails. 89 minutes on the clock. 1 minute left of the allotted 90. It is Brazil 2, Croatia 1. The Danilo goal in stoppage time of the first half gave Brazil a long lead that lasted all the way until the 85th minute mark. Ball played through to Lovro Maia. Bento, the Brazilian keeper, in no man's land. He tapped it home, but as soon as they got their equaliser, as soon as it kicked off, I don't know if Croatia fell asleep. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if they were celebrating a little bit too much. Hendrick won a penalty. Silly defending from Shatalo. I thought Hendrick was going to step up, but no, Igor Thiago did. The main man for Brentford the Bees. That's his first goal for Brazil. It's Brazil 2, Croatia 1. An intriguing first 45 where both teams were going at it to a degree. Second 45, Brazil have been much calmer and Croatia have been much more controlled in this game. that this game might not be over. We've hit 90 minutes, and for a friendly, 6 minutes of stoppage time. What do Croatia do? I think Brazil are going to sit happy with this 2-1 win. They lost 2-1 a few nights ago at Gillette Stadium to France. They bounce back at the moment. The moment they'll be going into the World Cup, having broken an unbeaten run by Croatia. They haven't lost in 9. Well, going into the World Cup, they'll have lost one, of course. I can imagine that Zlatko Dalic will also understand we've lost to Brazil. Maybe it's again the context is everything. You were losing 1-0, you fought back in the second half, and as soon as you scored, you went up the other end and conceded a penalty and lost your draw. That's what will disappoint Dalic and the Croatian players, I can imagine. They've got the ball though on the left-hand side. We've just played over a minute of the 6. Whilst I've just been bringing you that little update, it's been all Croatian possession. I can imagine this is what it will be now for the 5 minutes. Brazil looking to maybe hit on a counter along those lines, with Brazil having a lot of the ball. Smocic to the right to Sotalo. So many bodies driving forward. Lovely ball into the box, dealt with by Marquinhos. Himself, Leo Pereira and Bento, the only players who started and will end this game. Here comes Hendricks, he's flying forward. He picks out his teammate. Can this be 3-1? Yes, it can. Brazil on the counter. Gabriel Martinelli. Hendrick, I know he's not going to get an assist for the penalty, but what an appearance he's made. What a difference he's made since coming on. Right pass. The right weight of it as well. And Martinelli as well. 2 Premier League forwards getting on the score sheet for Brazil late on. It's only his 4th goal for Brazil in his 22nd appearance. Well, the young Brazilian. What a moment for him. It was a clinical counter-attack once again. Hendrick bursting forward with pace. And Martinelli and Igor Thiago to his left. Waited, but the perfect pass to Martinelli on his weaker left peg, with a low-driven effort underneath the goalkeeper, Livakovic. The goalkeeper doesn't deserve to have 3 put past him this evening. He's been excellent, he's been extraordinary. But so have Brazil on the counter-attack as well. And it's just one of those where they are just too big, too strong, it has to be said. Gabriel Martinelli puts the nail in the coffin. 6 minutes. Maybe Croatia is saying, let's call it 3 and call this game over. We've played 3 of the 6 minutes. It's Brazil 3, Croatia 1. Croatia just committed too many bodies. Brazil are just one of those teams that you cannot allow to hit on the counter. Croatia have allowed it, and I think this will be a great confidence builder for Carlo Ancelotti's side following the defeat to France a few nights ago. I covered that game. They weren't very cohesive. They just looked to step off. And look, Ancelotti's been in less than a year. Get a few names really compared to the last World Cup, let's say. You've got Hendrick in there, Ryan. I know these are players that are gone right now. João Pedro wasn't involved. Igor Thiago, Martinelli. These are players that at the last World Cup it feels like a fresh Brazil squad, doesn't it? So it's a lot of players finding their own way in the side. Ball forward now into the feet of Hendrick. Tries to take it past the goalkeeper. Tries to dink it over the goalkeeper there. But it's well held by Livakovic, and then driving away with the ball is Pasalic. That's a foul there by Ryan. Again, they just look so hungry, these young players. This experience is there, and Acuna and Pedro, they're playing in the Premier League. And I know it's been a short cameo, but Ryan, Hendrick and Igor Thiago have been absolutely exceptional for me since coming on. Yes, Martinelli got the goal, so I would add him to that as well. But Brazil with these young players look absolutely ruthless. And they're coming forward once again with Ryan on the right. Santos, he wants a foul. Referee says not a chance, and now forward come Croatia. Could they get a consolation goal to make it look better on paper and grab a second? To Farouk. Edge of the area, snapshot is blocked away. Ball falls on the right hand side for Pasalic, who plays a floating loopy ball into the box. Danilo there on the right hand side to boot it away, boot it long, boot it out for a Croatian rowing. Last 30 seconds of the 6 allotted minutes. This game is done, this game is dusted, it has to be said. What a showing for Brazil. Second half, I think they were just a little bit too tepid, but my word, again, Croatia scored. They almost poked the bear, it felt like. And those 2 quick-fire goals have definitely made this look a whole lot better of a result. And the referee will blow for full time. In the end, what a result for Brazil. They were much better in the first 45 minutes, but those last 10 minutes, they absolutely blew Croatia away with the substitutions, with the counter-attacking football they played. They did take the lead, though, in the first half stoppage time from Danilo Oliveira, the former Nottingham Forest man and current Botafogo man, with a great finish after a clinical counter from Cunha into Vinicius Jr. Pulled it back to Danilo. Lovely first-time finish into the top corner to give Brazil the 1-0 lead. It took all the way until the 85th minute mark, but poor goalkeeper from Bento was a lovely ball into the feet of Maya on the edge of the area. But Bento in absolute no man's land. Maya just stretched, poked it past the goalkeeper, rolled into the back of the net, and it was one apiece, looking for a dramatic ending. But Hendrik, he was a difference maker. So was Ryan, so was Martinelli, so was Igor Thiago, the man who got that second goal. Hendrik coming forward, a silly foul from Sotalo. Oh, and Hendrik won a penalty for Brazil. Igor Thiago stepped up, the Brentford man, the bees forward, sorted it home for his first goal for Brazil in only his second appearance to make it 2-1. And then as Croatia came forward, threw too many players forward, it has to be said. Just too many bodies. Clinical counter once again from Brazil. Hendrik with his fingerprints all over the last 10 or 15 minutes of the game since coming on. Poked a lovely ball through for Martinelli, slotted over a low-driven strike with his weaker left peg to make it 3-1 Brazil. That is how it ends, and that is how we will end this international break for these two sides. Big win for Brazil, unfortunately for Croatia, a very, very disappointing full-time result. But thank you for joining. It's been English audio commentary. Brazil hosting Croatia live from the Camping World Stadium, Orlando, USA, and it's finished a Brazil 3, Croatia 1.